in retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him.
Bill Gates has had to have some uncomfortable conversations, one that you never really want to have. What is your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? The minute you're getting asked that question, you're already in trouble. Here he is. It's like, you know, when you have to get out a contract, you're already in trouble, isn't it? Once you have to go, can you look at the contract and tell me what it says there? Once you've gone to someone, what was your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? Like, listen, the only answer really is, I don't know Jeffrey Epstein. Although with me, it's like, did you ever go to a Diddy party? Yes. Did anything happen? Yes. I met Tom Green. Everyone was wearing white. Wasn't as exciting as I thought. And I had no idea that just off-site, there was more baby oil than anyone could ever really even conceptualize. And almost a sort of a whole new sort of Texas gusher, a Beverly Hillbillies worth of baby oil just waiting to be discovered. So here's dear Bill Gates trying to describe what rational reason he can have for being so close to Jeffrey Epstein. I don't know if this is reason. Let's have a look.
Do you think, looking back at that moment, that you were being played?
Well, Jeffrey, in retrospect, I was foolish to spend any time with him, and he sort of, got time with various people by spending time with other people. So yes, I think I was quite stupid. I thought it would help me with global health philanthropy. In fact, it failed to do that, and it was just a huge mistake.
What you reckon? What is what I think? When you see Bill Gates saying that, you know that's been discussed previously. You can sort of feel it, can't you? When you're watching Bill Gates, right? In this interview, you're going to get asked what your relationship is with Jeffrey Epstein. What are you going to say? Well, I just like going on private jets. That's not going to cut it. You're going to have to sort of admit that it was stupid. That's the sort of what they consider to be a concession is just an indication of humility. But what you actually want is authenticity. You want this, only this. Look, when you're like rich and famous and that, Jeffrey Epstein, he's around and he's like going, do you want to come to these parties and everything? And I don't know, I got caught up in it. Or I was involved with him because he does a lot of fundraisers for sort of the kind of gear we're involved in, where CIA carve-outs get weird donations from, oddly, the CIA budget. Things like the Atlantic Council. I'm part of that world. I invented Microsoft. You can't invent Microsoft or be that near the summit of power without being inveigled in some pretty deep, weird, dark stuff. Even if you're like a relatively minor celebrity, you still encounter the loose tendrils of institutions like Hollywood. So when you're in the middle dealing with pivotal power, you get to know people like Jeffrey Epstein. That's the best it could be. The worst it is, well, I was involved with Jeffrey Epstein because he was some sort of agent of real dark, weird stuff. I mean agent both in the sense of deep state agent, but I mean broker of potentially Luciferian sexual experience. Potentially, these are just alleged concepts. That's the kind of thing people say about Jeffrey Epstein. It's certainly not an allegation that I'm making, but Jeffrey Epstein does appear to have been involved in some pretty high-level stuff to the degree where he could be unpersoned in a prison without shoelaces and a tie and without cameras. That's high levels of power. We know that. Now, if I knew that I'd been that near to darkness, that would keep me up at night. What keeps Bill Gates up at night? Is it, let's have some guesses of what it could be. Could it be, I made some mistakes during that pandemic? I really pushed for vaccines while I invested economically and financially in vaccines, so we'll never know for sure if it was a moral or financial position or something either darker than that. Or I regret that Microsoft got sort of consumed into deep state apparatus and had back channel relationships that breached the privacy rights of Americans, according to Edward Snowden and Julian Assange. Also, I was just sometimes worried about my marriage to the other part of the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation. I still miss her. Let's see what keeps Bill Gates up at night.
What keeps you awake at night?
Satan asking me to do his bidding.
The chance of a natural pandemic in the next 4 years is, somewhere between 10 and 15%. And, it'd be nice to think we're actually more ready for that than we were last time, but
is Bill Gates literally actually claiming that what keeps him up at night is the potential that we won't be prepared for future pandemics? If anyone's prepared for pandemics, it's people that have literally been preparing us for pandemics for the last 10 years with that weird Event 209 thing where they literally prepared for a pandemic, or spent the last pandemic giving us advice that proved to be downright untrue and can't be just now brushed away with, we weren't prepared for it. Like he's that little paperclip of himself popping up from the bottom of your screen. We weren't prepared for a pandemic. He did nothing but prepare for pandemics. You've invested all that money in the WHO, Gavi, vaccines, getting involved in Indian agriculture across Africa. I've never known anyone more prepared for a pandemic. It's like you actually benefit from pandemics, actually, to the point where people started to call it a plan-demic. And now he's just doing this interview where it's as if 201, Event 201, excuse me. Thanks, guys. Thanks for the correction. People, it's so amazing doing this job because people are like, he didn't invent Microsoft. Microsoft was invented by a CIA carve-out. I know, I bet you're right. But I'm just, I can't continually qualify every single word. The basic point is this. Do you think that Bill Gates is potentially connected to globalist ventures? The answer's got to be yes. Let's have a look.
So far, we're not.
You really think we're not?
No, we're absolutely not.
Why not?
People, rather than having a consensus about, what tools are missing, are mostly still replaying the various mistakes that were made. I wouldn't say that we're as far along as you'd expect after trillions of dollars and millions of lives have been lost.
Okay. Do we trust Bill Gates? Can we trust Bill Gates? Why does Bill Gates want us to trust him? Is it coincidence that he's making new friendships and new relationships with newly elected leaders across the globe in every hemisphere? Bill Gates, it seems to me, is one of the avatars and indicators of a type of power that exists outside of democracy and national sovereignty, that peculiar piece of cartilage that appears to exist between state power and commercial power, and that always leads to surveillance, control, invasive medical matters. It seems to be power in its purest form, not to yield to a sort of post-structuralist argument around power replacing money as the avatar and apex of all evil. It has to be accepted, doesn't it, that there is some sort of ongoing attempt to amalgamate power outside of the reach of the individual, the community, and maybe even the divine. And that Bill Gates appears to be an indicator, a coordinate, a signpost on that map of how power functions in the modern world. But that's just what I think. Maybe he's just like a little real-life paperclip popping up at the bottom of your screen, giving you information you don't really need. Let me know what you think in the comments and the chat. Free speech is under attack, but Rumble Premium refuses to back down. That's why you should use Rumble Premium. Support content creators like me, and him, and him, and him, and him. I'm going to say and her, but is there one? And her? Oh. That's good. And her. With major advertisers conspiring to pull their dollars, even brands like Dunkin' Donuts turned their back, claiming Rumble had a right-wing culture. How dare you say that? I'll never dunk that donut again. Not in my donut, you don't dunk. Not with rhetoric like that. Where's my Cybertruck? We're not here to fit a mold. We're here to defend free expression. To strengthen this mission, we're excited to offer Rumble Premium, a completely ad-free experience with exclusive benefits. Grow up. For viewers and creators. It's more than a subscription, it's a stand for free speech. Your voice matters. Join Rumble Premium. For a limited time, you can get $10 off an annual plan using the promo code BRAND. Visit rumble.com/premium/brand and claim your discount today. Together we can turn the tide, whether you join Rumble Premium or simply keep watching. Your support helps keep free speech alive. Go to rumble.com/premium/brand and use the code BRAND to get $10 off. Rumble Premium, ad-free, supports content creators like me, plus the additional content you'll get from all of these content creators. Become a member of Rumble Premium now. Use the code BRAND. Hey, thanks for watching. If you want to see more uncensored content where free speech can flourish, join our live stream. Click the link right here to watch the next video if you want to, or become a member of a growing movement. Download the Rumble app and you'll be informed every time we make a new piece of content. Stay free.